Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tech Talk. I'm here with Mark Edworthy. Today is the first episode for the second season. I guess that's the way Tan wanted to do it, wasn't it, Mark? Huh? I think he wanted to start it over by the seasons, which it doesn't seem like a bad idea, I guess. Um, so this is the second season, first episode. Um, Today, I was thinking we should go over some of the stuff that we've done with like this program right here that you set up for us, and then maybe cover some of the stuff later on about the websites and ideas and stuff like that we were doing. What do you think, Mark? I think he's... Oh. Can you hear me, Mark? Hello? Mark, are you able to hear? I don't think he can hear me. Let me see real quick. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me, Mark? Here, I'm gonna leave and come back in. And do it again. Can you hear me? Mark, can you hear me? That is weird. Hello? The audio went out. Yeah. I think something's up with this audio. Hey, man. Okay, what is the deal? Yeah, the audio just went out. I'm gonna have to let Mark know. Audio went out on me. So, let me see here real quick. I have no idea what's going on here.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to drop it again. Come in and give it another try, because it's causing me issues. That's probably what it is. I had to back out all the way. Now hit join call. Can you hear me, Mark? No, I can't even hear him. It's been doing this. It's been acting really weird. We had issues like this yesterday on Discord too. So this is getting kind of messed up. Hello, can you hear me? Mark, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah. This is is getting out of hand. Okay. Mark. Hello. I'm gonna troubleshoot my audio, see what's going on there, because something's not right. This makes the second day that it's been doing this. And of course the windows don't have anything good.
What you mean? Okay.
Can you hear me, Mark? Alright, so that's going to be an issue right there. I'm gonna have to do something though, because yeah, I'm gonna have to. I mean, I've left the call. You know what I'm saying? Twice, 3 times. So, all right. Are you able to hear me at all? Mark, can you hear me? Mark. He's not hearing me at all. Hello. Alright, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to end the call. That's the best way to do it. Just end the call. So, connected again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm not able to hear you at all, or you're not able to hear me. Something's gone. No audio.
No audio coming from you.
No, yeah, no. It's been that way for about 15 minutes now. For 15 minutes. Or for it just went dead. It just went completely.
No. Audio went out on me, being like that for 15 minutes. Okay, I think it's trying to start us out.
Alright, so we definitely need to get this straight, because I know that it's not just this one, because we were having the same issue on Discord, so it's got to be an issue that's going on with the computer or something, because it's just not supposed to be doing that, you know what I mean? And I've been yeah.
And I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
It's getting pretty bad. I'm not able
Okay,
to
what's working?
ask him uh,
Um,
sign out and come back in. Let's see if that works.
uh,
Because I keep signing in and signing out. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear nothing? See, it's not working out. This is getting pretty bad. And
okay, what's working today?
uh I have absolutely no idea what's going on there. Yeah. I have no idea. Let's this is getting bad. Okay, so let's see.
Okay, so there's no audio. You know there was audio documents go.
And let me see
see
here.
sound. That's why we need to make sure that things are up and running before.
Make sure.
Subscriptions.
Yes, my phone access is on. Everything in the settings is on. There should be no problem. Okay, so yeah, there's absolutely no problem in my program, so I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Real quick, okay, so anything? I mean, we were just talking, dude. I was having a conversation just a second ago, and something happened to where it's not there no more. So, I'm like, this is getting ridiculous, is what it's getting. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't do that. Let's see here. The best I can say is we need to go back to Jitsi. Back to Jitsi. So, because this isn't doing it. Let me see what's going on here.
Reports from someone who's left. I'm confused
Man.
what the hell. Why has he started two calls in separate rooms?
I didn't do that. I didn't mean to.
And you can go and do multiple calls in.
Okay, mine's Tech Talk. There we go. Okay. You there? Yeah, sorry about that.
What's that?
Yeah, I went into the
Danny's
wrong. I went into the wrong
confused
room,
what's
so
happening. What is he trying to do?
there's absolutely nothing going on that I know of that I can do to fix this whatsoever.
Making a difference.
Okay, let's try Jitsi because this isn't
Oh,
working.
okay. It's prepared.
Alright. I can't do anything. We need to try Jitsi real quick.
Okay, so what's happened then?
Okay, alright. It just doesn't seem to be working right now. I mean, test it with Jitsi, see if it's a,
And do anything, we need to try you quickly pending,
and we, just so you,
okay.
just so you guys know, we've been
You
having
just on that.
issues with this for a while. So, let me. Yeah. He's coming back in. I don't know for sure if it's gonna work out or not. I mean, I'm getting audio and everything with no problem when it comes to being able to get on there. So let me see here. We can find out real quick what's going on here. Okay, so it's picking up my audio in Jitsi. See if it is doing the same thing with Mark. Now it's not even showing them. Okay, can you hear me on here? Can you hear me?
Audio.
Are you able to hear me? Yeah, see, now I'm pretty sure.
No.
Okay. Yeah, if it's not coming in on Jitsi,
What the hell?
it's could
Something
be.
you ran.
Oh, yeah. This is getting ridiculous. Can you hear me?
No, it's just something you ran.
Alright. Nothing? Oh man. Now I think oh yeah. Now it could be an issue with the headsets, but I'm getting all the audio and everything on my OBS. Like every time I talk, it's coming through. So
I'm not doing this stupid shit, you know?
I mean, this is. I'm not. Uh,
Okay.
I'm here, or
What the hell is happening now?
I'm hearing audio on my mic and OBS,
Ah.
not on here.
It was my machine all the time.
What is it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was my machine. For some reason, I've got with my audio volume framework splits each browser up, and each browser tab up as separate audio inputs.
Oh,
And
wow.
for some reason, your tab for this browser window was muted,
It really. Okay. Now,
which weird.
that is weird because we were having the same issue with Summer Tide yesterday. I mean, it was
Mm,
horrible. I've been.
Okay, that's more of a localized issue, but
Well, is you know what could be the problem with that? Because that actually, if it's something I can take care of, man, I'll do it.
no, in my case, this was more of a localized issue,
Okay.
more of a issue my side.
Because that
Strange.
it really is strange. Because like I was sitting here talking to you, I get up and I go get coffee and take a smoke
Yeah, and
break.
then you
It,
got disconnected, and then when you reconnected, it
it was right
muted.
during that time. That's strange.
Do you want to swap over back?
Yeah,
Back over, yeah,
I was just wanting to jump on here to do the test and stuff. So,
yeah. In fact,
um,
I'll remove that your last comment from. Oh, I can't actually remove it. You'll have to remove it. Your last comment from live and with Roger.
okay,
Yeah. Okay, I'll swap back to Mixcloud.
okay. No, what I'm doing the call right now, so
Okay.
um, it should be going to it, and then we can switch in. So,
Uh, uh,
well,
you just initiated two calls, and my video and audio will only do one. Can
how
only do one or the other.
all I did was hit join call, dude.
Hmm.
That's a, it,
Hey,
that's.
might confuse my camera thinking.
Are you still on?
Yeah, well, I've got a tab open.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, all I'm doing is hitting join call.
Yeah. Only problem is that how this operating system reacts with the camera. I think I can only use the camera on one thing. That's fine.
Okay. Let me
Once I
see.
set up some footage.
It says waiting for others to join the call.
Actually, no, I can use both.
Send call notification to you. There we go.
Hang on. Just blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Stay on page. Leave. Oh no, I'm getting confused there.
It's got you marked as a moderator.
Yeah. So tech talk join call. John Cole.
Oh, there you go. You're coming in.
Ah.
Finally.
Yeah.
All right. So can you hear me on there? Let me.
Let me give just see.
I gotta drop that. There we go. Now,
Yeah.
now can you hear me?
Um.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can. Yes.
Okay. So we're good. Well,
That's weird.
see, and that's what I was talking about. Like, this is, I think, should be the topic that we have today, anyhow. So this is kind of good that we're having this stuff because it's part of Tech Talk. You know what I mean? So like, and the weird part is like we were having a problem similar to this on the show that I was doing yesterday when
Okay.
it was with Summer Todd and her son. Um, the only way we could resolve that was he literally had to turn his telephone off and turn it back on. Usually, you know how we've always had to sign out and sign back in with Jitsi.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he had to freaking turn his phone completely off and turn it back on for it to work.
Okay. Okay. I wonder. No. And again, it's very localized issues. So it's related to frameworks, the audio frameworks on each individual device.
Yeah. So she tried with hers on one of those iPods, and
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, you probably better just go back to using your phone because like she couldn't even have any audio either. And that was with Discord. So we moved.
Okay.
So we moved from Discord to frickin' Jitsi, and then she was able to have her voice. But when frickin' Austin came in, that's when he started having problems, the same problems. So it was like we were bouncing back and forth. Somebody's coming in, I think. Did you hear that? What was that all about? Alright. That was a bit strange.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a bit strange. What was that all about?
I think that was to do with my docking station yet again.
So
I think my monitor, this monitor blanked out on me as well. So yeah, I think that was due to my docking station.
what did it do? Sign you out and sign you back in?
No, my connection to the docking station's handling the connection to the internet. Got an RJ45 cable on it, and it's controlling 3 of my 4 monitors. 3 of my 5 monitors. And yeah, the power just disconnected from that immediately and then came back.
Okay.
So that screen and this other screen there went blank.
Okay. I'm telling you, it's gonna be an interesting beginning to the year, man. I've been trying to get my routine down and stuff, and it just everything is. I'm like having issues just starting up video calls and stuff. You know what I mean? And this isn't the only one either. Like, freaking, I've been having to use YouTube again, and I keep forgetting that on YouTube you have to start the stream. So like,
Okay.
So like 3 seconds or 3 minutes, whichever. How much time I ever forget to do that is missing from the live streams. So that's why I'm glad I back them up with recordings, because I've done that 3 times so far at the beginning of the videos. So that's why I'm glad I don't do live stream with YouTube on like Tech Talk and freaking the other one, Rogers Real Time Talk Show. I'll just do those on Rumble and all that, because I can take and I can archive those on YouTube and deal with the whole live stream on it.
Yeah, and also because the demonetization and all the issues with YouTube, it's better to record first and then upload. I would argue, because yeah.
I've been noticing that too, because like I was telling John, like on the Rumble, you know how they show the ECPMs or whatever they call that. You know what I'm talking about?
monetary value.
One simple but brilliant trick to heat your home in 90 seconds and save thousands of dollars on your heating bill this winter.
The audience number 10, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This genius way to heat.
What do they call that? The EPECM, or here I can pull it up real quick. On there, the ECPM, yeah. Whenever freaking I post stuff on there, it shows you the ECPM, and I found out that like their unique views are like the actual views that you get on YouTube. So like I can use.
I wish these companies stopped using acronyms for everything. I thought we were talking about the average user. The average user is not going to recognise what an ECPM is.
Yeah. Well, after I figured out what it was, okay, I finally realized how useful it is, because like whenever I go on YouTube, I don't get an ECPM. They don't tell me exactly, freaking that it's.
And also the term ECPM, cost per mile, doesn't even make sense in this context.
Yeah.
Cost per mile. Mile? What mile? Jesus, these marketing executives. If I ruled the world, I would execute every single marketing executive.
Now, come on now, you're against freaking Cromwell. You're an anti-Cromwellian, so you can't be talking like that.
I am an anti-market executive.
those telemarketers, damn
them. Yeah.
Well, that was very insightful.
I did criticize or critique, let's say, the mine staff in Canaries couple figure about for using abbreviations and acronyms or abbreviations, which is understandable for most users.
I think they do that on purpose, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know. That's why I criticize them.
I mean, because it came out of your mouth, though. You're like, the average user doesn't understand that stuff. Like, and that's what they want. They don't want you to really understand it all that easy, because then they can screw you, basically.
There's somebody who's worked in this business for as long as I have. Obviously, I've dealt with abbreviations on a daily basis, and it may be okay for internal people to understand what they mean, but the average user,
I think the only thing that really benefits is like big content creators. When it comes to the content creators, because like
pretty much the people that are internal of the environment ecosystem. It doesn't make any sense to Mr. Joe belongs on the street.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who's just got maybe making like with us, what we've done so far, we made like 19 cents, you know what I mean? So but like people who get more money off of it, I'm sure they know what's going on, because they've had to.
Of course. But if you're an organisation that's aiming at the general public as your viewership, as your audience, as your customer base, what you don't want to confuse them with millions of acronyms.
Yeah, I know. That's that I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that, but on the other hand, too, they don't even have this on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like they don't give you the ability to see that, like estimated
Okay. Yeah.
like estimated earnings versus eCPM. They don't even show that. And then I found out that the unique views on here is like real close to the actual views that you get on YouTube. Now the raw
Okay.
now the raw views, those aren't. And then like but if you go on here for Rumble and you look at the unique views, that's the amount of views that you would get on YouTube. And I'm actually realizing that with Rumble. And what I've noticed from what we were talking about a second ago is like you get more views on Rumble from live streams than what you do on YouTube. But on YouTube you get more views from uploads than what you get on uploads from Rumble. So they're opposites, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
if you want to live stream, it'd be best to use Rumble. If you want to frickin' use uploads, it'd be best to use YouTube. So I've been doing a little bit of both on that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's my old point of, again, bums on seats, making sure that your content is being pushed to as many users or as many viewers as possible.
But I don't really know how frickin' like that's even gonna be useful, to be honest with you, because like I've tried to frickin' do everything other than spend money on promoting the shit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like it just seems like it's a matter of you have to be hostages to frickin' the platform that you're putting it on. You know what I mean? How many are they gonna allow me to frickin' get views on? So
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you spread it around multiple platforms, and then do some marketing around that. I mean, as an example, Jeffy does what, 4 different platforms,
yeah,
5 platforms. He tries to market all of them.
I don't know if I want to try D Live though.
Okay, the live's probably the lowest take, I would imagine.
Like it just
Um,
D Live
as
kind
far as
of
as far as the average member public's concerned, D-Live doesn't exist.
yeah. Like
Um,
they kind of they're kind of scary too. I was looking at them and like you know how
What you
you're
mean?
talking about
Yeah.
writing and stuff and how they do their language and stuff on their documentations. Like there's parts of it where it kind of looks like Chinese, like you're talking about before.
Okay.
Like I mean, you can kind of tell that it's not American or English. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm.
It's kind of
Not to
funky.
look at D-Live's PLS or contractual agreements at all, actually.
So I mean,
Uh,
it's kind of like with Odyssey, but with Odyssey it kind of looks like it's more French than it is like it could be like a French company or some shit like that. So
this is where you need natural English reading proofreaders to review all of your documentation before it gets published.
that's probably why they're in so much trouble right now
Mm.
because they
And
never,
and again, that's down to good project management.
you know.
Again.
Well, I'm not gonna say they're in trouble. I'll say library's in trouble.
Okay, a lot of these things come down to project management at the end of the day.
They could have handled that a little bit better though. You got to admit that much. Like, and then now Odyssey broke away. I guess now freaking they got auctioned off here within the last 2 months. They were talking about it in their Discord, help and support.
Yeah.
So they're now separate from frickin' library altogether.
Yeah, it's this thing about going with the latest fad, isn't it? Without thinking it through, where there's alternative sort of longer term sort of projects that have been out there. Yeah.
Have you been able to see that yet? Like on the D Live? Are you checking that out?
I'm just reading terms of services at the moment.
It's kind of weird. And I already I already told John and them, and I got another guy named Crappy Gamer that I've been talking to. He went over and did that freaking that kick, and I told him straight out, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. I've going over and putting videos up on Kick.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
That's the one where you become like an employee instead of.
Okay, I would have to have a look at the terms of. Okay, read the terms of services all the time.
Like I mean, you literally fill out a W-2 form and work for them. You know what I mean? And they give you money and shit. Which that right there is kind of strange, but
have they got offices in Europe?
Is it?
No, have they got offices in Europe?
Don't know, being honest.
Because if they do, then there's a whole load of employment law legislation that they would have to consider.
I'm sure they would have to.
If they've got offices in the UK, yeah, Jesus, the employment laws are really quite.
Let me see real quick. Kick streaming. And let me see.
Okay.
I can come in here and, yeah, here it is. Kick streaming. And I can see private policy, terms of service.
Services. Kick, blah, blah, blah. And very straightforward so far. Which one?
Yeah, it's
read folks.
well, at least they're using capital letters. I mean, they're
still using the US rules on commerce before words like button and or, which is a very American thing.
Mm-hmm. They're using they're actually pointing out terms too, like the term for using the term we or us. That's actually in the terms of agreement.
Yeah, I should say at the start, we, us, yeah, otherwise known as company, we or us, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, which is standard.
I mean, some of them don't even do that. You know what I mean?
Under EU and UK law, any contracts have to be spelled out in layman's language, else it can be considered invalid contracts.
Well, nobody really cares what the UK thinks.
This has been a piece of legislation for 6, 7 years. Something about what the UK thinks.
Yeah, you heard me.
Sort of, vaguely.
Yeah, with the UK and well, the UK and they don't even mention anything about like location. So I've been looking.
They should dispute on resolution. It should say which country they're in. I
Like
mean,
DMCA policy, privacy policy, terms
so
of service.
that would be a DMCA is only typically a US policy. La, 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 la.
Okay. Trademark takedown request. That's all that. Repeat infringement policies. Yeah. We take intellectual properties seriously. That kind of stuff. Privacy. It's Kick Streaming Pty Ltd. And
yeah, it doesn't actually say in which country or
no,
in which territory they are.
it says contact information, but that is for personal information collected from us. So that's what they want. But
Right.
yeah, they want government issued IDs and tax ID numbers.
Yeah, but that's no good if you are in the, let's say in the UK. That's not, generally speaking, require any sort of government ID. There's no such thing as state-based ID except for passports and driving licenses in this country.
Now they could be just using it for identification purposes, though. Like, it technically doesn't have to be like strapped to a government organization. If they just want to have a verification that you are who you say you are, then like a lot of people get caught up in thinking that it's just about you're having to do it for the government because of government requirements, but a lot of times people don't do that. It could be just to verify who you are, just to make sure.
And then under EEA GDPR rules, I would demand that they give me information on how they're using that, how they're storing that.
Exactly.
And if they do not, and probably under Californian consumer protection rules as well, you could demand that. Presumably that you're a Californian resident.
Right here they say, we use third-party identification verification service providers to collect this information directly and facilitate all identity and background checks. These providers...
Okay, in that case, I would, before providing any information to them, I would be sending them an email demanding that they provide me with a list of all third-party providers that they are going to use my ID information or send my information to, how they are storing it, and how I can request the SAR subject access request, and how I.
There it is. And it says, additionally, privacy information may be available to you by the third parties at the time your information is collected. So it's interesting. You just had to come back in. I know he's getting call-ins, call-outs, so it's pretty interesting how that works. I'm gonna pretend like he's here and just keep talking on so that. Yeah, I just went ahead and pretended like you were still here, so I knew that you had to get off of there, so that you went off thing. But it said right after that about where you can get the information after After they use it, the third parties to collect.
No, not after they use it. Before they use it, I would demand that information before they use my information. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not going to agree.
Actually, let me read it. That way we can, because I probably said it wrong. It says additional privacy information may be made available to you by the third parties at the time your information is collected. So at the time your information is collected, that then
Yeah,
can be
because
provided.
people time you're not customer of those companies, but
Yeah. I still
So-
think that's kind of fishy. I still don't like
not
it.
having an address. Not having an address on that. It's blowing.
Because PayPal started trying to do that shit too. You know what I mean? Where they wanted you to show valid forms of identification and shit. They stopped doing it.
But the difference with PayPal, I believe, I know in the UK, they are regulated by the UK equivalent of the FCA, FSA, Financial Services, whether the UK equivalent is, from my head. And obviously they've got offices in the UK and other EA countries, therefore they have to abide by the laws, the regulations of those countries.
I still
Will be subject to legal action.
I still don't see the location though. Being
No,
honest,
no.
I don't see their location at all, where they're located at or anything. At all. I mean, and their terms of agreement is huge. I didn't see one spot in the beginning where it showed where they were located at geographically.
But usually within the sort of final stages, usually in the liabilities or the resolution sections.
I know Rumble is in Canada, right?
Possibly.
And Odyssey, I believe, is in France. I don't really think that they're like Chinese or nothing. I've heard people say that they could be Chinese, but I doubt that because the spelling's too French. It's more like a French person trying to speak English than a Chinese person trying to speak English. You know, you can tell the difference. And then I found out the other day that Tom is on is a part of their help and support on Discord from MySpace. That would make sense what happened to him, because I remember whenever he finally sold MySpace, he said he was going to travel around the world and then come back with a different plan of what he was wanting to do. And didn't freaking Library start right around the time MySpace went out of business?
Yeah, there was several years between the two companies, but yeah.
So maybe that's what he did. He probably dove into setting up Library and getting it started.
By looking at section 11.1 of TIC's terms of service, it seems like that they are just basing their laws on the user's country.
What's the user's country?
Yeah, wherever country the registration is signing off on.
That means they're global. They're not even. These guys have big money.
So that raises an interesting question in relation to speech issues. Speech issues, because
That means they're in, you know what that
comply with
means though, right?
FTC.
Hey,
Huh?
you know what that means, right? That means they're not localized. They're freaking a national or international freaking corporation.
Are they though? Are they? Have they got offices in non-US locations?
Hey, you also have to realize Kick is taking like a big bite out of YouTube. Now, a lot of their bigger content
It's
creators
it's.
have moved from YouTube. Like they're losing money because of Kick. Like this isn't like Rumble.
I think Kick is just another fairly small. It's not really a platform I'm that much familiar with. I don't hear very much about Rumble. Obviously, I hear quite a lot about locals, but Kick no.
No, I've been using Odyssey, but I don't really see what the purpose is anymore. Like other than being able to download shit, you know what I mean? Like if I wanted people to be able to come in and download my videos without having to do the whole transferring over Google Drive, then I could see that as being one thing for it. But like,
Based based on Kick's TOS set clause 2.3, they mentioned FTC. So presumably that's a US-based company, but it's what again? They're using acronyms again. This would not be suitable for any EEA. Would be not suitable probably for EEA contractual agreements. I mean, what is the FTC? We know what FTC is, but there's some kid out of Mongolia know what the FTC is, and I mean, what country is the FTC? FTC, what? Future trade. I don't know.
You had to throw Mongolia in there, you know. I mean, it could be coming out of Mongolia for all I know.
Yeah.
Poor Mongolians.
This is really if this is the I think they need to employ Kick needs to employ a better legal theme.
I was reading through it, and it's like a lot of that is just a lot of long jargon. You know what I mean?
Most of it makes sense. Most of it's fairly standardized. But yeah.
Most of it's just jargon, though. Like it really is. Like when you sit there, I went through at least half of it, and they didn't have anything that like geographically located them in any kind of freaking country at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, which raises questions about arbitration.
You know. So what happens if they decide to freaking just bail one day and everybody who's on Kick gets on there and the platform's gone? You know.
Companies come and go. That's just fact of life.
Yeah. Well, at least they could get a warning. That'd be nice.
Let
me see. I better check on my live stream.
Oh, okay. You may have in the privacy policy they have got some contact information. Australia, Melbourne.
Oh, they're in Australia. Oh
yeah. Jesus, I do hundreds of land for that bit of information.
See, and it would be cool if, like us being here in the United States, I could take and put my content on their platform and I be protected by the Australian copyright freaking laws.
No,
but that's not how it works.
No, they've got a section on EA, UK, Switzerland, additional UK, Switzerland
Like
information.
you know how their copyright laws are in Australia, don't you? Like it's okay.
I'm not overly familiar with the intrinsic
They have
points.
they have an open copyright law enforcement. Like if you take and put something up on the internet, then you surrender your copyright laws because you're opening it up to the public. So because they don't want to get involved in all that. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want people to freaking use your content, stop posting it on the internet. It's their stance. You know what I mean?
Okay, under UK law, and it's the fair. We don't call it fair usage. We call it something fair trading or fair something or nothing. But it's very similar to the US concept. Unless the only applicable use of reusing the content is if there is a license agreement that's appropriate for that, or if it's for education, news reporting, or commentary.
Now, don't you think like when with this new whole educational purposes, don't you think that's kind of like
That's not new. That's not new. I remember dealing with this back when I was working in education
well, I
20
mean
years ago.
that was for real educational use. But what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
is, don't you think it's kind of getting manipulated a little bit too much these days?
that's for courts to decide.
Yeah, I mean,
That
being
would be
honest though, compared to back in the day to now, I mean, do you kind of see that getting bent a little bit? Because like back when it,
in what sense?
well, here in the United States, if it was for freaking educational purposes, then you would, before the internet really got kicked in, you would see it on educational programs. Like here we have PBS, which is the public broadcasting system. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually where educational shows and freaking information was usually shared at. You know what I mean? Things that were basically freaking set up for the purpose of public education. You know what I mean? Now, like,
Yeah, but it's all about subject matter. It's not all about context. Um, PBS isn't going to start providing educational information on, I don't know, the history of the Middle East.
yeah. Well, that would be
Uh,
cool if it was actually historical information. You know what I mean?
mm,
Freaking. Yeah, that's my whole point. It's like people can just use the whole education thing because it's cheaper. I mean, let's just be.
and also you've got to consider the sort of goldfish phenomenon, the sort of 3 minute attention span
Yeah,
by the concept.
yeah. Nobody likes hearing that. I get arguments about that every time I bring it up, but it's the truth.
Uh,
Like
well, up to your point tonight, yeah. With the average,
average person, they got an
uh,
attention span. They said that most people today have an attention span of 7 minutes. They
right,
if you write a blog that's longer than freaking 14,000 words, there's a good chance that nobody's gonna read even half of it because they don't have the attention span to read that far. So they said keep your blogs to 14,000 words, which is horrible. That's like maybe a
I
page.
think I think the longest blog article I've written is about 15,000, maybe 16,000. But yeah, I try to keep them around 1,000 words.
You know, and then
Right.
they say the best videos that you can put out with lengthwise where more people would watch it is no longer than 15 minutes. They said 15 minutes is the golden range,
Yeah,
and They also say that, like, if you want to do long ones, do it to 45 minutes. Maybe go an hour, but don't push it. You know what I mean? After an hour, you're.
Yeah, and hence my sort of concerns about your 8 hour videos.
Well, those are aimed more towards podcasts. Now, the people who watch podcasts are a lot different. Now, these guys, they're freaking.
And most people don't watch podcasts; they will listen to them. It's a sort of
When you go to
thing
bed,
doesn't require your direct attention.
that's why it's 8 hours, because like when podcasters or people who listen to podcasters go to bed, they freaking like to turn the podcast on and listen to them. And like if you have like an 8 hour podcast,
but if you are asleep, well, you're not
that's not my
listening.
That's not my whole point. Okay, that's why they freaking do it, is because they want it running while they're sleeping. You know what I mean? So it's not for me to debate if they're listening to it or not. It's just that people who listen to podcasts likes to sleep with podcasts on. So I mean, and a lot of them do it. So and all they want to do is.
I just noticed a mistake in Kickdown privacy policy. They've got the word "to" but with double T.
Yep.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Again, lack of proofreading.
There's a few other ones in there if you look at them. You're talking about Kick's spelling? Yeah. Like the grammar and stuff like that. Well, this entire week has freaking pretty much been the same with me on this stuff. It's getting off to a freaking crazy start, like with the technical issues and stuff. So we've been doing or we've been having issues on all of them with like Discord, Jitsi, and even on here, I guess today, because
really that's down to my machine more than to this platform.
But I think it's more the routine too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's getting.
This is where to just maybe 15 minutes is not long enough. As a sort of recording.
Once we get when we get on here, we need to have plenty of time to organize and stuff before the show starts and everything.
20-30 minutes should be, I would think, could be more.
And
so if we do have problems like we have had, then we can organize.
It's like I said, this is the first episode too, so it's good that we're on here at least freaking, getting things organized and stuff. We don't have to have it all technical and stuff. At least we did an introduction and we went through and started getting things ready. So we're actually on here doing stuff. We finally got it ready, and now we're talking about like the platforms and stuff. I thought that was important about Odyssey too, to bring it up on the show, because we've mentioned Odyssey before, and I mentioned it a lot about what was going on there. And then I found out that they actually got auctioned off, so that was important.
Okay.
That kind of goes back to what we were talking about in a previous episode. So
yeah.
And to be honest, it's probably the best thing that happened to them. To be honest, because now they've got a free break from library altogether. Maybe it'll save them from getting their asses in trouble.
Well, technically, the library was a separate company. Therefore, if any, they wouldn't get themselves in legal trouble because they can say it's their fault.
Well, you got to remember too, they're still using the library coin. Those coins they've got are library coins, tokens. I should say.
Okay, I've not kept up to date with what's happening there.
And I don't know for sure if they're really worth anything when it comes to monetary value, because I've never figured out how to cash any of them out if you can. It, it's one of those situations that happen with mines where I finally just gave up and said I'm not even going to try no more, you know. So
Yeah.
I people say you can cash them out, but I've never
Again, as far as Mines Token's concerned, you've got the entire Section 17 of the Terms of Service Agreement, which says that they cannot be cashed out. There's no monetary value to the tokens. And people like Bill Ottman and Jeff Ottman knows this. I've informed, I've critiqued them many times, both in public and private, and they have yet to do anything about it. And this has been going on for what, 2-3 years now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it amazes me that people don't understand why the gas bill for frickin' trying to do it is so high. You know what I mean? It's like they do that for a reason. I mean, they don't want you to frickin' cash that shit out because they don't.
Well, no, there are external expenses when it comes to when this related to gas bills. This relates to ETM miners paying
Miners.
them for the amount. Yeah, paying them for the work that they do.
You know that miners have been phased out of Ethereum, right? Like they don't.
No, they still exist.
Yeah, miners. Ethereum doesn't depend on the miners anymore. Like they're freaking now. No,
Since when?
Since 2 years ago. They freaking.
You'll have to provide some documentation on that one.
That'd actually be a good thing to bring up then, because I thought you knew that.
Yeah.
This happened. You remember that big scandal that happened just recently with the guy? I was always picking on him. He had that mansion in the freaking Caribbeans with like 200 friends partying and shit. And what was it? It was that big freaking Ethereum coin that he had, and they found out that he was freaking he was misusing freaking the funds and shit, and like his investors were getting ripped off and shit.
Okay.
And
so it was just a standard case of fraud, fairly standard case of fraud. So
during that time period is when all this happened, because like they went from there to freaking Ethereum breaking away from the miners and stuff, and then the miners started having a problem, and that's when they freaking that's when shit started happening with the price of cryptocurrency with Ethereum. They didn't know for sure if they were going to make it over the hump or not, and they ended up recovering from it pretty good. So I think they did better than freaking the crap that Bitcoin's been going through, to be honest with you. They had a rough spot for, I'd say, about 4 or 5 months, and that was it.
Okay.
But I can pull
No,
stuff
there was
up.
some movement, but I've not really followed the...
I can pull some information up about it for later, because it really is. I mean, if you're interested in hearing about it, it's a pretty good story.
Yeah, I'm just interested in looking at it from a sort of consumer and legal point of view.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's been a lot of crazy shit. Bob Dub was right the other day when we were talking about it. Like there's been so much insane stuff when it comes to cryptocurrency right now. Yeah, so that is true. It looks like everything streamed out fine, so we did get everything going right, and I've got it recording, so I'm pretty sure that it was only like 15 minutes of a hiccup at the beginning. So yesterday it freaked me out. I thought it was like maybe an hour, and come to find out it was only like 20 minutes. And I'm like freaking out, thinking we had like an entire hour of trying to get on the internet and talk to one another and stuff. And so it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. I'm glad.
Okay, I'm just reading something from August 2023 on Ethereum.org saying that proof of work is no longer underlying Ethereum some consensus mechanism, meaning mining has been switched off. Instead, Ethereum is secured by validators who stake Ethereum. You can start staking blocks. First of all, it's just marketing the chain.
Yeah. I think it was a good call. I mean, being honest, I know it hurts a lot of people, but in the end, though, like these miners are scandalous. The more they mine, the less money freaking me and you make. You know what I mean? So everybody's got this idea like it's a good idea to have them, and it's not, because freaking like the more they mine, the less money me and you and the average person makes. So
yeah, but the idea is that the more they mine, the more more coins there are, and therefore more it's sort of the trickle down concept.
yeah, that cool trickle down concept that doesn't work and never has worked. Is that the one you're talking about?
Something like that. Something like that.
And, it's like, yeah.
And of course, if you are providing your hardware for the sole purpose of, or for the purpose of our mining, then it's only fair for you to be stated for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing of it is like they lose money too after each block. Like they don't make a freaking rich killing every block of freaking data they make. You know what I mean? They lose value for the next block as well. So it's pretty messed up how that works. Even they lose out the more they freaking mine. Like the value of what they're mining is lower. There's no winning there. Why would you do that? I don't understand the whole concept about that. Why people think mining is actually good, because the value goes down the more you do.
Yeah, but the more coins there are,
Yeah.
and therefore it should balance itself out in theory.
In theory, so. Well, if you want to, man, we can cut this short, I guess, because I'm pretty sure we've covered an hour of non-hazardous, dangerous, crazy freaking techno stuff. So, what is it? Yeah, we've got like a hour and 18 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was only like 15, 20 minutes where we had that problem. So.
Strange. Okay, yeah, it's only big restart there. I just looked at the clock on there, and it's saying 55 minutes, but I looked at it multiple times. So yeah.
But I think we should start using this on a regular basis for Tech Talk. What do you think? All of it actually for it, for our channels and stuff.
Set it up. Yeah, that's why I set it up for the purpose, just to have a singular platform which is under our control rather than under control of some third party.
Right, exactly. And then I'll remember that I need to use those links. You know what I'm saying? I apologize about that. I'll make sure to remember that. Matter of fact, I should.
Regular users, regular commentators can use the base URL, but for this viewers, the extra address really necessary, as we'll get into a lot of issues in relation to things like terms of services and
Yeah.
privacy and GDPR and blurbs.
So. Oh. He got booted. He got booted. Wait a minute. It was doing now so let me see here. You there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, that was weird. It was right after you said what you did, and it just popped off there. So
That's not the term GDPR.
So I figured I'd wait until you got back on here before we ended the show. That way it was appropriate. We didn't want you just like bouncing off and like, well, that's the end of it. I know. So, we'll next week I guess we can start it out. I'll come in and start setting up about a half an hour beforehand instead of 15 minutes.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah,
and get things organized and stuff, and I guess we can end it here, man, and be back later on, and we'll kind of go over some stuff on like we said at the beginning of this, like using this program, and then maybe talk about like websites and stuff like that we've been going through.
Yeah.
Domain names and shit.
Yeah, you remind me. I'm going to start doing some development for Jaffe from next week onwards.
Mm-hmm.
From tomorrow, actually, probably Tuesday, Wednesday onwards.
Okay. And I will see you later then, okay?
Okay. Sure, yeah.
Talk to you later, man.
We do.
Alright. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and with that, I am going to end the stream. Have a good day.